y'all. It's your friend Kyle Petty, and I'm back with another live episode of The Kyle Petty Show. Got a lot of things in store for you tonight. I want to shout out the CM Teens for something that they did last week. This week. We're going to talk about that in a minute. I did have two really great conversations with some two really fabulous people, and unfortunately one of those conversations had to be scrapped, because some things changed at the theater that they work at, but that's okay. You know who you are, and I want to welcome you back to the podcast whenever you feel like things are settled. All right, doors always open. But with that being said, I did have a really great conversation with Melissa Rapelje, all right, choreographer extraordinaire. I wanted to get to that, but yeah, let's pop this sucker off. Okay, so I also have some audition information, right? Some things that I kind of, from after scouring the internet, right? I found some information I want to share. And we got some shows that are opening and closing. We'll get to those too. But I wanted to talk about the CM Teens for a minute. I don't usually make it to teen productions, right? They're usually like during the week. It's really, really hard to like make it there. But I absolutely had to make sure that I made time to go see Once Upon a One More Time. Okay. I love Britney Spears. That's my girl. I was going to make the time to go see this. And I have so many thoughts about the production that I saw there. First of all, the teens were fantastic. There were a couple of adults mixed in there, also fabulous, right? But you know, what I liked the most about what the teens did. So there were some problems, right? There were some problems. The show was supposed to start at 7:30. It did not. It started almost an hour later because there's apparently some problem with the light board. I'm not a technical person. I don't really know what was going on, but there were some issues. So the kids ended up performing the show like literally like an hour late, but like with all the lights on. Like the house lights were off, but like all the lights on stage are just on, just blaring on them. No light cues, nothing exciting, anything, and it does really make you understand how important lighting is. Like my creatives, like, we really wait, hold on. I've got a sound for this. I've got a sound for this. Let's give it up for the creatives, like the people who work behind the scenes. Right. Okay, because like lighting absolutely affects the way that a show looks and the way that a show feels. Like it's not just about what the audience is experiencing. It's also about like how the people on stage feel, like the performers. So to perform without lighting for what was supposed to be your closing performance, I'm sure was, oh my gosh, so deflating, so disheartening. And a show like this that's just so silly, you just kind of like mocking each other and mocking everything, right? If you've ever seen Once Upon a One More Time, you know what I'm talking about. It just makes fun of itself the entire time, and that's part of the charm of it. And the fact that they bounced back in the way that they did. Now, I do understand that they did have a proper closing. CM gave them another show on Tuesday that I unfortunately could not make it to. So I'm glad that they had a proper closing, but I have to give it to them for the way that they bounced back. You know, that's amazing. That's the magic of theater, right? Because like you wouldn't have seen like the way that they. Oh my gosh, Act One was like so good. It was Act Two where during intermission rather that they kind of announced that they were going to be adding this other performance, but Act One you wouldn't have seen like anything wrong with these kids. So like, good on you. So there's that. So way to go, CM Teens. They deserve some applause too. Way to go, kids! Way to go! But with that, I can't wait to show you some of the best bits of my conversation with Melissa. Like, I have only gotten like 5 minutes here and there with her, like after an opening night or something like that, where I'm writing a review or something. And like, obviously, she's the woman of the hour. Like, she don't have time a lot of time for me, right? But like, to actually be able to sit down with her one on one and have this conversation, I had a ball. Aside from being massively talented, what a great person, what a great personality and spirit. I love this woman and I can't wait for you to fall in love with her too. So, here's some of the best bits of my conversation this week with Melissa Rapelje. Choreographer extraordinaire, Melissa Rapelje. Thank you so much for being here. Thanks for taking the time out of
Oh,
your
thank
evening.
you.
Yeah, I'm so excited because again, like I was saying in our pre-chat that I said we weren't going to do,
Right.
I
No,
have
it was
only been in your company in passing, like after opening nights and things like that. So there's so many questions that I want to ask you personally because I want to get to know you.
nice.
But first, for the people who are not familiar with you in any sort of way, introduce yourself. Imagine this is like the first time you're meeting your new cast, right? And you're going around the table, meeting a bunch of new strangers. What do you say to them? What do you want them to know about you?
Okay. I'm so bad because I am the typical extroverted introvert. Typical, like to a T.
I love that. That is
Oh,
so good because that's how I feel like I am
oh,
too.
really?
Yes, when I
Yes.
go out, it's one thing. When I'm home, like a completely different
I
version of
know.
myself.
I
Yeah, yeah.
know. But I'm Melissa Rapley. You said it correctly.
Very
So
well.
many people can, but it's just the J, just the J. The J is
Yes,
silent.
it throws people
Um,
off.
I and let's see. So I am a freelance, I would say, director, choreographer,
Director too.
theater, yeah.
Mm,
Theater teacher sometimes, professional musical theater actor, and a mom.
wow, you
Ooh,
do it all, and a wife, and a wife.
life, yeah. Oh,
So you most recently choreographed Legally Blonde, which is
yeah.
absolutely fantastic. What made you interested in working on this show?
It's funny because I was actually not going to do it.
Ooh.
Can you believe it? Like this incredible cast
Hmm.
and the team,
Yes.
production and creative. Like,
Hmm.
how could I have not? But I knew how busy I was and how much of a time commitment these shows are. So it was a hard decision, but I was not doing it. Um, and long story short, I'll try to make it short. Basically, the reason I think Legally Blonde is my eighth show at CM.
Wow, only 8? Gosh, I would feel like you've been there so long.
So I haven't. I'm actually
No?
fairly new. Well, time's flying. So my first show there was my daughter was 1. So
Mhm.
it was the summer of
Okay.
2022. Um, my first show was Bye Bye Birdie with
Mm.
Matt Sirico directed it. It
Mhm.
was so much fun.
Love, love.
That was my first show, and actually getting like going back to that. Um, so my daughter was born, and I planned to be a stay at home mom. Like that was the plan, uh, and you know. Probably about like 6 months into it, my husband was back at work and I was home. And like I love being a mom. Loved it. But I was like, where are the adults? Like
Right. I wanna have a proper
have a
conversation.
conversation. And also not to get like all artsy fartsy, but like I didn't have that creative outlet that I was used to having
Right.
throughout my 20s.
Mhm.
Um, and I guess I was not venting, but like talking about it with my friends. And Ronnie at the time, he asked if I wanted to do a show when she was about 6 months. And I talked over with my husband. And of course, my husband's amazing. He was like, yeah, go do
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
And I wasn't there yet. I wasn't ready to leave the house, I guess. I don't
Mm.
know. And I said, thank you so much. Like, that's very sweet. If CM ever needs a choreographer or director, whatever, let me know. And then 6 months later with Birdie, he's like, how about now? And I was like, yep.
What do you think was your most challenging song to choreograph in this one?
I feel like you're going to expect me to say whipped. And that's good. That was actually my easiest one. Uh,
Wow, I was expecting you to
yeah,
say that. Yeah.
yeah. Because,
Yeah.
okay, so the way my brain works,
Mhm.
people make fun of me, but the way my brain works is I make pictures. I have dots. I think this notebook has dots in it somewhere. Oh yeah, dots, like from shows I'm working. And,
Like little football plays.
oh, yeah. So
Yeah.
it's just like these things that move all over.
Mhm.
Um, and what I do is I use the score. I use the orchestrations to kind of well, that inspires me to what story is being told,
Mm.
and then I kind of manipulate what the audience maybe hears by what they see, type of thing. So I'm like, I want these dancers over here to be the trumpets and that and that. And that. Anyway, but with Legally Blonde, the way I see the deltas is they're a Greek chorus, right? So they're
Mhm.
very unison almost the entire show. Not their personalities, the choreography. We wanted like
Mhm.
individual personalities, but they're dancing the same way at the same time. There wasn't a lot of in my brain for this show, a lot of like I don't know if you remember Gaston, my Gaston and Beauty and the Beast. I had things going all over the place.
Yes.
But that's a
Mhm.
chaotic number.
Yes.
Um, whereas this is very fun and the dancing was hard and like great, but unison. And that was different for me.
Yeah.
Whereas Whipped, they aren't the deltas. So I was able to do my thing.
Go a little wild, right. Now, I've also heard through the grapevine that you are a performer, right? You have performed in the past.
Mhm.
I've not had the pleasure. So like, is this true? What things have you worked on? And like, tell me some things about
Okay. Yeah. So I went to
that.
school for this. I started dancing when I was young.
Mm.
Not really young. My mom tried to get me in dance when I was 3 and 4, and I clung to the bars and cried. Um, my daughter is in dance and she is loving it. So I'm
Oh,
like,
great.
so I started dance when I was 7.
Wow. That's still young. You said not very
Sure,
young.
sure,
If
sure.
it's a single digit, I feel like that's pretty young.
I know I started my daughter at 18 months.
Yes. Get over there.
I'm like, okay, point your toes.
Right.
No, I don't care if I'm just happy she loves doing it. As soon
Yeah.
as you know what I mean, I'm whatever she wants to do. But anyway, what was I saying? Oh, so I started dancing. I caught the theater bug in middle school. I went to school for musical theater. I have a music degree,
Hmm.
and actually, while I was at school, I got my first professional gig. I guess it was. Have you heard of it? The Awesome '80s Prom.
No. Oh, yes. Oh my God. Wait, I
You
went. My default answer to everything is no. I don't know what you're talking about. No, I don't know what that is.
went?
I went there. Really funny story attached to this. I was trying to keep it as short as possible. We were there very late, because we had it was for a bachelorette party,
Yes.
and we had rented like a party bus like to
Mhm.
bring us in. And this man did not understand that we needed to be there by a certain time. He's like driving like 37 miles an hour, and I'm like, no, we have to go. Like, so I feel like
Hurry!
yes, I feel like we got there right before intermissions. Like we missed like a good chunk of it. But I was
Oh
there.
my
Yeah.
gosh. Okay, so I was a standby for 3 roles. I was a standby for like the
Wow.
2 Heathers,
Okay.
and this
A long time
the
ago.
freshman Molly.
Okay.
Um, but I was a standby for 3 roles, which meant I went on like quite a bit. And the cool thing about it, it was only Saturdays.
Mm,
So I still had did school, and
right.
I was a standby, so it wasn't every Saturday. But it was so cool. It was in Webster Hall,
Yeah.
right?
Yep.
Yeah, yeah. And I just remember everyone was so cool, and I was like, "Oh." I was like, "La, la, la," and it's improv based.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you know, we had to hit certain things and along the way, and I just remember feeling so. It was an awesome experience. Haha, pun intended.
Ah.
Um, and then anyway, so through my 20s, I basically um, you know, I was auditioning, and I got a lot of contracts across the country. So
Hmm. So you've been all over the place.
yeah, yeah,
Do you ever think about getting back into it?
yes. And I'm such a planner. I mean, my Disney trips are planned to a T. But I this is this is it's something that I just don't have a plan yet. I think it's going to be I do foresee myself acting again. I just, for some reason, when with my daughter being a toddler and acting at the same time, it's like my brain uh,
Mm,
broke. I couldn't think about doing both. But for some reason, with choreography, it feels really right now.
mm. Okay.
So I'm resting in this. I'm enjoying this, and I think I will get back into it. I want her to be a little older. I think,
Hmm.
um, and I don't know the extent. Am I going to stay local? Do I want to travel again? Um,
Oh,
you know,
so
the
but you're open
city.
to that though.
Yeah, I am, but I just
Okay.
don't have an answer as to when.
Yeah, no timeline, but like, all right.
Yeah.
I'm happy to hear that there's some interest there. I would love to see it. You know,
Oh,
we've seen so much of your creative work, right? I'd love to actually see you on stage. I think that's awesome.
yeah.
What were some of your favorite roles as a performer?
Let's see. Okay, I can think of two. First one is Miss Stephanie Mangano from
Oh, yeah,
Saturday Night
Saturday Night
Fever.
Fever. Yep, yep. Hmm.
That girl got me work. Once I discovered her, I did
Hmm.
4 contracts, 4 different seasons,
Really,
four
really.
different
I only
places.
got to be in Saturday Night Fever once. I was Monty.
Come on,
Yeah,
Jane.
so much fun. It was a great time.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's a
yeah.
fun show.
It is.
Yeah, and I think you know what's funny is when I would go on these contracts, some people had the accent well,
Hmm.
and it's not a Long Island accent or anything, but like it's a Brooklyn accent. But let me tell you, what some people struggled on was in IPA. It's called the claw vowel.
Tell me more.
Coffee.
Coffee. Oh,
They
so I know,
couldn't.
but I
They
just didn't know
couldn't.
I knew it.
Yes, of course, of course.
Yeah. Hmm.
Um, they couldn't. It took them a really long time to get the and I know to us it's like coffee.
Right.
And
We were born that way.
exactly. So,
Right.
but
That's just how you say it. I didn't learn it. That's how you say it. Like,
that's
yeah, that's
um,
funny.
and then one of the lines Tony says, like one of my co-stars, he was like Ajita instead of Ajita. I was like, we were practicing. I was like,
Wow.
cool, and I lost it. Um, but it helps, like the Italian Long Island.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I loved her. I loved her, and I loved her
Hmm.
also for like not to get all deep, but in my 20s, I just related to her so much, like the wall she puts up
Hmm.
to prevent people from knowing like the true her. Like, oh, loved her. And I
Yeah.
think when I walked in the room, besides my stellar accent, like they could feel I really resonated with the character, and that's why I got it 4 times. So I loved her, and I loved that she was able to help me like see that I did. I think I did her in Arizona. Um,
Hmm.
where else? Virginia, Rhode Island. So like I was able to like see the country because of that role.
Yeah.
Um, and then my second favorite role, and this is over a decade ago, but I still geek out
Hmm.
over Miss Daphne Blake in Scooby Doo Live.
I was like, wait, Daphne Blake, you said that like I should know. I'm like,
The redhead in the purple
wow,
dress.
yeah. Okay, all right. Where did you do that?
They made a musical. It was like I guess it was an hour long. It was a kids musical, and I toured
Hmm.
with it.
Wow.
And this tour, the bus that we were in, we had the TVs, the beds.
Oh, excuse
Oh,
us.
oh, yeah. Um,
Fancy living.
yeah, but it was great. I still remember like because it was produced by Warner Brothers,
Mm,
and I still remember the during the callbacks they had to put us in the costumes to make sure
right.
we looked like
Hmm.
them, and I just
Hmm.
remember putting that on, and then behind the table they were like, "Oh, it was so cool. It
Yeah.
was so
Oh,
cool."
that's awesome. Do you have any pictures? I would love to see some of those.
I definitely have pictures. I
Yeah.
have like one video. It was a while ago. It was
Yeah. No, I
before
would take some
social
stills.
media.
I'd take some stills. Yeah. I had to scroll back pretty far. I'm gonna dig this up. I want to see it. That's awesome.
No, it was fun.
Yeah. All right. So what's next for you? You just finished up Frozen Junior, right? So
Mhm.
What's coming up next for Melissa?
Let's see. So I have the high school with SpongeBob. I told you about Lisa. And then at Engelman Studio, we're doing Chicago with teens.
Wow. All right, so you're busy.
Yeah.
Good. We love that. Where can people follow you on social media to find out a little bit more about what you've got coming up?
Just probably Instagram.
Mhm.
It's at Melissa Rapelje.
Excellent.
Do you want to spell that? I mean, should I spell that?
Yeah, I want to. I can't.
Melissa Tetteraplje.
Oh, look, they have a little jingle for that too. Everything. I love that. Oh my God. Thank you so much for doing this with me.
Yeah,
I
thank
knew this was going to
you.
be a blast. I was so genuinely excited.
Yeah,
You and I, again, we only get like 5 minutes at the end of things and somebody whisks you away.
yeah.
So this was really, really great. I was excited to start first of all levels to do this.
I know we need to flip it now. I want to know more
Yes.
about you.
Oh my gosh, you can know anything you want to know. I'm really an open book. I'll tell everybody all my business. Yeah, absolutely, we can. But
Yeah.
thank you again
Oh,
for spending this
thank
time with me
you.
tonight. Thank you. I am joined. Okay. So that was Melissa. Thank you again for hanging. Legally Blonde is closing at CM Performing Arts Center this weekend. All right. So that's your last chance to get to see Melissa's work in motion. All right. Legally Blonde has 4 shows this weekend. All right. So there's no excuse. Friday at 7:30 tomorrow, right? Saturday, they got a double. 2 p.m. and 7:30 p.m. And then the official closing is Sunday at 2. All right. So get down there. Get down there. It's a really, really good time. My good friend John Mazzarella did the set design and he really outdid himself every single time he steps up to the plate. He outdoes it, right? So yeah, get down there and see that. It's absolutely worth it. While we're talking about CM, there is the John Rivera tribute show is coming up. So just put that on your calendar. That's Sunday, February 15th at 6 p.m. Okay. Which actually is also opening weekend of Spamalot. They open on the 14th. I think I'd rather go on the 15th, right? So I can just stay for John. Just putting that out there in case anybody out there is listening. That's my plan. That's my plan. What else is going on in the world? I've got a little list here. And before I even get into the list, I'm going to tell you that I know there are a lot of theaters on Long Island and I do not have all of your information. So if you do not hear yourself in the roll call, please send me a DM on Instagram at The Kyle Petty Show. Drop me an email at kyle@thekylepettyshow.com. Let me know. I'll shout you out. The next stream is, what is that date? I think it's February 12th, right? It's every other Thursday. I'll shout you out for sure. But Theater 3, Brighton Beach Memoirs, they're continuing their run. They've got 4 shows coming up this weekend. Well, Thursday was one of them, right? So if you're watching tonight and you're watching live, you missed it, right? But they'll be back tomorrow, just Friday at 8 p.m., Saturday at 8, Sunday at 7. Okay, Sunday at 7 gives those workers a chance to get some of the snow off the roads, right? We're thinking we might get snow. It seems like no one really knows what we're getting, right? At one point they were saying 5 to 8. Now it's 1 to 3, but they could swing a different direction and we're got a whole lot more. So we don't know. So check the weather and check their websites, okay? Sunday at 7 for Brighton Beach at Theater 3. And they also have a very special Wednesday at 2 p.m. A very special Wednesday. So, give that a gander. But they are closing on the 8th. All right, February 8th. So if you don't make it there this weekend, you got to get there the next one, right? So closing alert. What else do I know? Smithtown Performing Arts Center. They've got a comedy show coming up, Lovers of Comedy. That's on February 13th, featuring my good sis, Debbie Diamore. Love her. Love her. There's some other people on it. I don't know who they are. But yeah, go on and give that a gander. I did also see that Jagged Little Pill was fully cast. So congratulations to those people. Let's find some applause for them. Okay. What else do I have here? North Fork Community Theater. They have Anything Goes auditions. All right. The first night was tonight, right? You missed it. Um, but they also have another set of auditions Saturday, which I guess would be, what is that date? Ooh, that's the 30th. Nope, the 31st. Saturday the 31st, at 1 p.m. Okay. North Fork is auditioning Anything Goes Saturday at 1. The performances are from May 14th to the 31st. So if you're available and interested, go down there. What else do we have? Capsiosset is closing Annie. They're closing Annie, with 4 performances. Friday at 8, Saturday at 7, family friendly, and then a double on Sunday at 3 and 7. But when one show closes, another one opens, and you can go mosey on down to Cap Merrick to go see their production of Rent that is opening this weekend as well. They're opening on the 31st. That's Saturday, as we just learned, at 8 p.m., and that will run until March 1st. Okay, so that's what that is. The other thing that I saw was Hampton Theater Company. All right, they're very close to me. We like Hampton Theater Company, and they're nice people. They're nice people. They were auditioning for the 39 Steps. Right. So if you missed the audition at Theater 3, or you unfortunately were not cast, you can give it another go by seeing the good people at Hampton Theater. Those auditions are March 16th and 17th from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. But these audition slots are by appointment only. Okay, this is not your romper room cattle call. Okay, so you need to message them and get yourself on the schedule. But their performances are from May 21st to June 7th. So if that tickles your fancy, go on and get down. The other thing that I will mention is that my good friend Matt Peretti, Matt Peretti and well, Ashley Nicastro Peretti, right? Just in case you know her by her maiden name. They moved to South Carolina some time ago. But Matthew was in a performance of Jersey Boys a few months ago, at the Greenville Theater. And he was nominated in the season 99 Joanne Woodward Awards. I would assume that Joanne Woodward is someone important to their organization. I don't know this woman, but we're happy to be nominated. My good friend Matt Peretti was nominated for Best Actor in a Musical, for playing Frankie Valli in Jersey Boys. Okay, so you can head to my Instagram at The Kyle Petty Show, and you can get the link so that you can vote for our good friend Matthew. Um, and I honestly think that's all I've got. So again, if there's something that you want to see on the Kyle Petty Show, a person you want to see, something you want to see, I missed a show, I missed your theater, please, reach out to me. DM me on Instagram at The Kyle Petty Show. Send me an email at kyle@thekylepettyshow.com, and I'd be happy to include you on the February 12th stream. All right, so thank you for supporting this project. Thank you for supporting me. And thank you for supporting live theater here on Long Island. All right. I wish you all the best. All right. Be good.